All right. Are you ready? Let's begin. As you sit allowing your body, you may begin to notice how the sound of words can sometimes be less important than the sound of words. The spaces between them. This meditation follows a Fibonacci-inspired sequence. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and then gently back down again. This meditation, each of these segments marks a shift, has been designed, a subtle change in the brain waves guiding you between theta and delta, to oscillate the realms of drifting clarity and deep restorative stillness between delta and theta brain wave states. I created this meditation for myself because I had an idea. Using singing bowls, and I wanted to feel what it might do to deepen relaxation inside me. You don't need, and I found, to focus, that I liked it. Guide awareness inward, even if your mind. I hope you find your own experience here. Sometimes I get messages from people I don't know. One, from people who I've never met, but they have met me in a way. Through podcasting. And it's kind of amazing. Sometimes when I stop, I get messages from people I don't know. To think about it. From people who I've never met. One. But they have met me in a way. When I was a child, through podcasting, growing up in the late 70s and the early 80s. And it's kind of amazing when I stop to think about it. often to entertain myself. When I was a child, growing up in the late 70s and the early 80s, I would take a record player often to entertain myself into my backyard. I would take a record player into my backyard. I would string together multiple extension cords, just to make sure I had a place to plug it in. Just to make sure. I'd built a fort out of cardboard boxes. I had a place to plug it in. I would use crayons to color on the inside and the outside of that fort. I'd built a fort, usually Star Wars characters, out of cardboard boxes. R2-D2, TIE fighters. I would use crayons, X-wing fighters, to color a Death Star on the inside and sometimes Charlie Brown, the outside of that fort. And I would sit inside that cardboard fort and listen to records. Usually Star Wars characters. R2-D2. TIE fighters. X-wing fighters. A Death Star. Sometimes Charlie Brown. And I would sit inside that cardboard fort and listen to records. And one day, I remember digging in the sandbox in my backyard. I had this imagination that maybe I could dig a hole straight through the center of the earth and come out the other side in China. I didn't get that far down, but I found a black cord buried in the sand. And one day, I remember digging in the sandbox in my backyard. Probably some kind of data cable running into the house. I had this imagination. And I remember that putting my ear maybe to that cord. I could dig a hole and wondering straight through the center of the earth. If I speak into this and come out the other side in China, will someone on the other side of the world hear me? I didn't get that far down, but I found a black cord buried in the sand. Or, if I listen closely, probably some kind of data cable running into the house. Can I hear their conversations? And I remember putting my ear to that cord and wondering instead of a cardboard fort. And a record player. And now, today, 5. Instead of a cardboard fort and a record player, I have a cell phone. I have a cell phone. And a laptop. A laptop. And the internet. And when I speak into these things, the internet, people sometimes do hear me. And sometimes even in China. When I speak into these things, and it's still kind of a wonder. People sometimes do hear me. Sometimes even in China. And it's still kind of a wonder. Today I heard from a daughter and her mother who found this podcast while searching for nervous system reset. They reached out through Facebook to say thank you. Today I heard from a daughter and her mother, and the mother shared something personal. Who found this podcast while searching for nervous system reset. She has been dealing, and they reached out with a lot of pain through Facebook to say thank you. Ulcers, and the mother shared something personal on her bladder. She has been dealing with a lot of pain. Doctors telling her ulcers on her bladder. There's not much they can do. Doctors telling her there's not much they can do. She told me that she felt like she was at the end of her rope. She felt, and that these meditations brought her some temporary place of wonder. I like to think of these binaural meditations as something like an umbrella. Not one meant to stop thundering rain, but maybe more like a light parasol. Something that softens harsh sunlight. Not stopping the world exactly, but perhaps so in that place of wonder, filtering somehow. I like to think of these binaural meditations, the intensity, as something like an umbrella of it. Not one meant to stop thundering rain, but maybe through a kind of nervous system engagement, more like a light parasol, using sound to soothe. Something that softens harsh sunlight and breath. Not stopping the world exactly, but perhaps and your own relaxed state that you create here for yourself, filtering somehow the intensity of it. Because through a kind of nervous system engagement, we are certainly living in chaotic times, using sound to soothe. And breath. We absorb messages of fear and your own relaxed state that you create here for yourself. Because we are certainly living in chaotic times. We absorb messages of fear. We feel anger at injustice. We feel anger at injustice. We fear the continued increase of injustice. The continued increase of injustice. We scroll and scroll and scroll in our nervous systems. We scroll, take it all in, and scroll in our nervous systems, take it all in. So, I want to spend this meditation reflecting on the way that living cells inside your body interact with each other in relationship. So, I want to spend this meditation because reflecting on the way your body is not random, that living cells inside your body interact with each other in relationship. It is not meaningless, because your body is not random. It is not meaningless, It is not pointless. It designed itself over billions of years. It, of trial and error, designed itself and successful adaptation over billions of years, resulting in processes we are barely beginning to understand. Of trial and error and successful adaptation, resulting in processes we are barely beginning to understand. And maybe you could imagine what it might have been like. Four billion years ago. Before life as we know it had formed on the planet. When molecules, what it might have been like 4 billion years ago, began bumping into one another. Before life as we know it had formed on the planet, on this hot, unstable planet, when molecules began bumping into one another. Some combinations on this hot, unstable planet fell apart quickly. Some combinations fell apart quickly. Others held together a little longer. Held together a little over immense time. 13 longer. The ones that held together over immense time learned something. Not consciously, but chemically. The ones that held together stable relationships learned something. Last. Not consciously, but chemically. Unstable relationships dissolved. Stable relationships last. Unstable relationships dissolve. Scientists talk about something called the RNA world. A time when certain molecules could both store information Those molecules found ways to group together. Forming patterns
together.
and relationships that were more resilient.
Forming patterns
Eventually,
and relationships
clusters of molecules wrapped themselves in membranes
that were more resilient.
and became single living cells.
Eventually, clusters of molecules wrapped themselves in membranes and became single living cells. And with that question, every living being you have ever seen traces back to those early cells. Scientists have even given a name to what they believe is our last universal, common ancestor, Luca.
Every living being you have ever seen traces back to those early cells.
The last universal, common ancestor.
Scientists have even given a name to what they believe is our last universal, common ancestor. Luca,
A simple cell,
the last universal, common ancestor.
made of smaller parts,
A simple cell made of smaller parts, cooperating in harmony.
cooperating in harmony.
Proteins, membranes, channels, all in relationship.
Proteins, membranes, channels, all in relationship. Those molecular patterns of stability and repair have been refining themselves for billions of years. And right now, I want to speak directly to the mother who messaged me. About the ulcers on her bladder. There is a power consciously hearing these words right now.
Those molecular patterns
But maybe you are. You are using it.
of stability and repair
And whether you are or not,
have been refining themselves for billions of years.
perhaps your nervous system is receiving these signals
And right now,
and translating them
I want to speak directly
you cannot help into your system in a meaningful way.
to the mother who messaged me about the ulcers on her bladder.
And maybe you could imagine
And I hope that as you're listening to this, you're taking deep breaths. And maybe
that inside your bladder right now
you have fallen asleep. And you're not consciously hearing these words right now.
are many living cells
But maybe you are. And whether you are or not,
standing. It is the power.
perhaps your nervous system is receiving these signals and translating them into your system in a meaningful way.
Transformation. Shoulder to shoulder.
And maybe you could imagine that inside your bladder right now,
And perhaps you could imagine that between them
are many living cells
are proteins
standing
that act like
shoulder to shoulder.
tight junctions.
And perhaps you could imagine that between them
Little clasped hands
are proteins that act like tight junctions.
forming a seal.
Little clasped hands forming a seal. Red Rover, Red Rover,
Red Rover,
send whatever right over.
Red Rover.
And their job
You transform
is to keep their hands gripping
Send
so that nothing else can come in.
whatever right over.
Their job is to keep irritants out and to protect the tissue.
And their job
And underneath them are immune cells, watchful, but usually calm. And maybe you can picture this, that threaded through the tissues are nerves,
is to keep their hands gripping.
special cells designed to whisper about fullness, not to shout constantly.
So that nothing else can come in.
And all of this exists inside the greater field of your autonomic nervous system.
Their job is to keep irritants out and protect the tissue beneath.
When your system bathes itself in what I like to call blue chemistry,
And underneath them
serotonin, oxytocin,
are immune cells,
dopamine in balanced rhythms,
watchful,
GABA calming circuits,
but usually calm.
your body gently shifts toward repair. Immune function strengthens.
And maybe you can picture this, that
Inflammation settles. Barriers reseal.
thread cells designed to whisper about
It is measurable.
fullness,
It is ancient.
not to shout constantly.
It is part of the memory stored in your tissues. A kind of cellular wisdom accumulated over billions of successful adaptations.
And all of this exists inside the greater field of your autonomic nervous system. It is your creation. When your system bathes itself in what I like to call blue chemistry, the power to transform serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine in balanced rhythms, GABA calming the circuits. Your body gently shifts toward repair. Immune function strengthens. Inflammation settles. Barriers reseal. Blood flow improves. Muscles soften. This blue chemistry that the body creates for itself is not fantasy. It is measurable. It is ancient. It is part of the memory stored in your tissues. A kind of cellular wisdom accumulated over billions of successful adaptations. However, when our body remains in chronic activation, for example, when we doom scroll,
However, when our body remains in chronic activation,
watch endless alarming news,
for example, when we doom scroll, watch endless alarming news,
replay fears,
replay fears in our minds, relive the memories of past traumas,
relive the memories
project those memories
of past traumas,
onto the world we live in now, with fear, concern, and uncertainty.
project those memories onto the world we live in now, with fear, concern, and uncertainty. We stimulate red chemistry, cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, ways that the body prepares to fight or to flee or to act in ways that keep us as safe as we can be.
We stimulate red chemistry.
Red chemistry is not bad.
Cortisol. Adrenaline.
It saves lives
Norepinephrine.
in emergencies.
Ways that the body prepares to fight or to flee
But when red chemistry
or to act in ways that
floods us day after day,
keep us as safe as we can be,
week after week,
red chemistry is not bad.
month after month,
It saves lives in emergencies.
year after year,
But when red chemistry floods us day after day,
decade
week after week,
after decade,
month after month, year after year,
it can shift
decade after decade,
the internal balance.
it can shift the internal balance of our system. Over time, immune cells become more reactive.
Over time,
Repair slows.
immune cells become
Nerves become more sensitive.
more reactive.
Tight junctions can loosen under inflammatory signals.
Repair slows.
The system can move from cooperation into defense.
Nerves become more sensitive.
Sometimes even attacking other parts of its own biology.
5. Tight junctions can loosen under inflammatory signals. The system can move from cooperation into defense. Sometimes even attacking other parts of its own biology. Sometimes finding balance can be like a grease fire in the kitchen. A few nights ago, I was cooking some dinner on the stove.
Sometimes finding balance can be like a grease fire in the kitchen.
And I saw some.
A few nights ago, I was cooking some dinner on the stove,
Grease escape
and I saw some
the pan.
grease escape the pan, and I worried that I might accidentally start a grease fire,
That I might
and my mind
accidentally start
sprang into
a grease fire.
action. A bit of red chemistry surged within me, I'm sure.
And my mind
And I remembered,
sprang into
if a grease fire happens,
action.
it might seem quick and easy to
bit of red chemistry surged.
But that water would only make it explode.
Within me, I'm sure.
Instead, I should use sand or baking soda.
And I remembered.
Or that red fire extinguisher sitting underneath the sink.
If a grease fire happens,
because
it might,
when it comes down, it's the chemistry of the response
seem quick and easy to throw water on it.
that brings balance.
But that water would only make it explode. Instead, I should use sand or baking soda or that red fire extinguisher sitting underneath the sink. Because when it comes down to it, it's the chemistry of the response that brings balance. And sometimes that makes me wonder if inflammation in our body is like a small grease fire.
And sometimes that makes me wonder if inflammation
In ways it can protect, but
in our body is like a small grease fire.
if we keep adding fuel through constant stress chemistry,
In ways it can protect, but
it can grow harder
if we
to
keep
protect.
adding fuel through constant stress chemistry, it can grow harder to contain. And so maybe these binaural meditations
And so maybe these binaural meditations
are not a cure.
are not a cure.
Maybe they are more like that cardboard fort in the backyard.
Maybe they are more like that cardboard fort in the backyard.
A small protected space.
A small protected space.
A kind of parasol that filters harsh rays from the sun.
A kind of parasol that filters harsh rays from the sun.
Creating a moment where the nervous system can
Creating
shift
a moment
from red to blue.
where the nervous system can shift from red to blue. And when that shift happens,
And when that shift happens,
something remarkable
something remarkable
may occur.
may occur.
Perhaps that is the moment when
Perhaps that is the moment when
your ancient healing intelligence awakens.
your ancient healing intelligence awakens.
Not because you forced it,
Not because you forced it.
not because you fought your body,
Not because you fought your body.
but because you gave it space.
But because you gave it space. Sometimes I like to think of it this way. That there is some kind of memory
Sometimes I like to think of it this way,
within the nucleus of every one of our cells.
that there is some kind of memory within the nucleus of every one of our cells
that knows how to repair. A genetic
that knows how to repair.
memory.
A genetic memory made of molecules
that remind the tissues
how to cooperate. Those molecular relationships have survived volcanoes,
ice ages,
to
asteroid impacts,
ice ages, asteroid impacts.
They have refined themselves across epochs.
They have refined themselves across epochs.
So when you breathe slowly and allow your system to soften,
So when you breathe slowly and allow your system to soften,
maybe you are not doing nothing.
maybe you are not doing nothing.
Maybe you are creating the conditions.
Maybe you are creating the conditions for that ancient intelligence, to do its best work. Is that how it feels to you?
Is that how it feels
So, as you rest here,
to you?
you might gently ask yourself,
The next thing I am about to do.
the next thing I am about to do, will it activate red chemistry?
Will it activate red
Or will it
chemistry?
activate blue chemistry?
1.
Will it tighten my system into defense?
Activate blue chemistry.
Or allow it to soften into repair?
Will it tighten my system into defense? Or allow it to soften into repair?
And maybe this can be your new practice, strengthening the muscle of awareness.
And maybe this can be your new practice, strengthening the muscle of awareness. To know what am I
To
thinking
know
and
what
feeling
am I thinking
right now.
and feeling right now. To get curious about that.
Without judging as a right or wrong thing what you should or should not be doing.
Without judging it as a right or wrong thing, what you should or should not be doing. But accepting,
These are my thoughts. These are my feelings.
these are my thoughts, these are my feelings.
And asking yourself, are these contributing
And
to
asking
red
yourself,
chemistry?
are these contributing to the red chemistry? Are they contributing to the blue?
Are they contributing to the blue?
Which is the best place for me to inhabit in this moment?
Which is the best place for me to inhabit in this moment?
And through that process, allow your internal state to guide you.
And through that process, allow your internal state to guide you.
So let this meditation become your parasol.
Become your parasol.
cardboard fort scribbled in crayon.
Your cardboard fort scribbled in crayon.
Your ear pressed against a wire connecting you to something larger.
Your ear pressed against a wire connecting you to something larger.
And for this moment, at least, allow your body to remember what it has always known. How to do. So, as you feel your spirits rise, whisper to yourself, I am becoming lighter, clearer, stronger, and the knowledge beautifully now, as it will continue.